The drivers then warming up the tyres, warming up the brakes and warming up their brain cells, ready for the senior final here at Adria, the Rotax International Open. We're getting ready for a 17-lap race, and if it's anything to go by what we saw yesterday in the heats and the pre-final, then stand by your bedposts, hold on to your hats and try and keep yourself calm, because it is going to be a firework display out there. The racing has been absolutely scintillating in seniors this weekend. And this is the way they shape up then. On screen you can see that Gary Donnelly, representing Ireland, on pole for Strawberry Racing. Adrien Ranadan for France is alongside for Kart Pro. Number 240 is Gary, number 256 is Adrien. Row 2, it's number 233, Berke Besler, who won all the heats yesterday. Started from pole in the pre-final, dropped back to 6th at the start and came back to 3rd. So he's a definite threat, the Turkish driver for Bouvon Power. And Jack McCarthy, with nothing to lose, from 4th on the grid, will be one to watch. Number 310 for Strawberry Racing. On row number 3, 230, Alessandro Trombelli for KR Sport for Italy. And 236, Denis Mavlanov for Russia was the driver who's going to be lining up, or should have been lining up on the 3rd row of the grid as well. Luc Vilhelms and Stan Pex on the 4th row of the grid. Glenn Van Paris and Ricky Donnison on the 5th row of the grid, 9th and 10th. Julien Falchero and Maurizio van der Laan on row number 6. Karol Dabski and Artem Aristov on row number 7. Josh White and Jakomati Paulin on row 8. Jakob Patrick and Felix Kotiek on row 9. And to complete the top 20, Charlie Turner and Shane Daly. Charlie Turner was one of the drivers given a penalty, a 10-second time penalty for unfair driving, which dropped him out of 4th place and down to 19th position. So he'll be one to watch. There's a big pile up in the pre-final. So some drivers at the back of the field with a point to prove as the revs build. The accelerators hit the floor and we go racing here. And it's a scramble through the first turn. Gary Donnelly slips and slides. Adrien Ranadan's got his nose in front. Magnificent start for the Frenchman. From the outside of row 1, he's got the lead of the race. We've not seen that all weekend long. So Ranadan leads, but Gary Donnelly is still there in 2nd place. Berke Besler is behind him in 3rd position. A slight gap back then to the rest of them. Up into 4th place. Might be Stan Pex, I think. Stan Pex has got up into 4th place and going well. One or two have come together a bit further down the order. And they kept going, but there's been a bit of a coming together down at turn 4. So we've got 2 carts off. Another one's just rejoined and another one was badly delayed. At the head of the field, though, the leader is Adrien Ranadan, and Gary Donnelly in 2nd position is busy at the moment trying to fend off Berke Besler in 3rd place as they go into turn 1 at the start of lap 2. And now Gary Donnelly goes on the attack from a long way back. He's going to get the lead. Through he goes. Donnelly leads, gets it back from Adrien Ranadan. These were the top 2 in the pre-final. 3rd place now is the number 230 cart of Alessandro Trombelli. So it's Trombelli who I spotted coming up the order, not Stan Pex. He's there in 3rd place. Change for 4th just behind as well. Denis Mavlanov comes through with the green helmet. So Mavlanov getting better and better as the weekend goes on. To be fair, he's been quick all weekend, but he had he was one of the drivers that was in the Duff qualifying group that was very slow, and he was also one of the drivers that got penalised in one of the heats yesterday. But he's always been quick enough to challenge here, and it's coming good at the right time for Mavlanov. The Russian is back up in the top 4 now. Luc Vilhelms in the top 6. Stan Pex did have a good start. He's 7th. Jack McCarthy has dropped back a bit in 8th place. But it's a long race this, 17 laps. The race leader takes turn 2 with Adrien Ranadan shadowing him in the all-blue colour scheme. So the Irishman leads the Frenchman, the Italian Alessandro Trombelli, with a good start up to 3rd place. But with the Russian driver Denis Mavlanov looking to the inside, Trombelli left the door open there and Mavlanov thought about it. Berke Besler is behind them now in 5th place. And then it's Luc Vilhelms with the blue suit and the bright orange helmet looking for the inside line. Luc Vilhelms goes through and gains a place on Berke Besler. So Vilhelms is now up into 5th place. At the top of the course at turn 9, your race leader is still Gary Donnelly, but he cannot shake off Adrien Ranadan. These two, there's nothing between them in terms of their lap times, and there's a good 5 or 6 other drivers that are just as quick as well. So it's all about racecraft now, being in the right place at the right time and having luck on your side. Adrien Ranadan picking up the toe, but Gary Donnelly's doing really well to fend him off. So he continues to lead the way here. Remember, the top 2 will make it through to the grand finals. You want to win, but you definitely want to be in the top 2. But it's really hard for these drivers not to go for the lead if they possibly can. There's a bit of a coming together for fourth place here. Mavlanov is forced out wide there. Luke Wilhelms will get through and gain the place, but then he goes wide at the next corner and ends up losing a couple. So Luke Wilhelms going for it. It didn't pay off, and he ends up losing a place as a net result of that. So Mavlanov stays in fourth position. Berke Besler would have come through to fifth, and then Luke Wilhelms, I think, has dropped to sixth place. Stan Peck seventh, Jack McCarthy eighth, Mauricio van der Laan ninth, Julian Falchero 10th. Through they go into turn number one. Again, Gary Donnelly, who's giving an almighty big toe to Adrian Renedan. He's able to keep him at bay. Catching them though, he's Alessandro Trombelli, the Italian driver. He's looking more and more menacing, and then perhaps knows this circuit a little bit better than some of the others. For most people, it's the first time here. And he, as he said, only lives about an hour away. He's been here a couple of times. Big scrap going on for fourth place here. Mavlanov coming under attack again, that time from Berke Besler. Besler makes a mistake, runs wide, and might lose a place to Luke Wilhelms here. In fact, he'll lose two. Wilhelms gets past him, and Stan Pex has gained a place as well. So the two Dutch drivers go past the Turkish driver and up to fifth and sixth positions. The race leaders come out of turn 10 and floor the accelerators now. Over the start-finish line, they charge, and Alessandro Trombelli is starting to look a little bit menacing in third place, but he's not quite as quick through turn one. Adrian Renedan is, and goes for it at turn two and leads the race. So Renedan into first place, and now Trombelli goes for it and goes past Donnelly at turn three. So Donnelly just wrong-footed there by Adrian Renedan, and that cost him on the next corner. Trombelli saw what was coming and weighed it up beautifully. So the Frenchman now leads and is a couple of lengths clear of the Italian. The Irishman third is still very much in this fight though, and the others will not be discounting his ability to come back through and come back at them. And you never rule out Berke Besler, although it's not going that well for him at the moment. Mavlanov is fourth, Wilhelms is fifth, Pex is sixth, Besler's seventh, Mauricio van der Laan is up to eighth, McCarthy ninth, Falchero 10th. Charlie Turner has set the fastest lap of the race, but he's a long way down the order, I'm afraid, as Trombelli picks up the toe and gets past Renedan, and Gary Donnelly gets past both of them. He's got his nose in front, there's some wheel banging, he's on the outside for the next corner, but he's got through, despite a tap from Trombelli, who's now forced off the track by Renedan, who's got his nose in front and doesn't want to give the place back. There wasn't really contact there, but Renedan squeezed him and made sure he didn't give the place back. What a move that was from Gary Donnelly. He just watched it and went for it. He saw that Renedan was going to go for the move. He knew that they were both going to brake late and outbrake themselves, and he braked super late, charged up the inside of them, and that was the last of the late breakers. A daring move from Gary Donnelly, and worthy of getting him into the race lead. Brilliant stuff. So Donnelly back in front. Second place now is going to be Denis Mavlanov. He's squeezed through ahead of Renedan at the end of the lap. So Renedan was leading one lap ago. He's now in third place. And look at the gaggle behind them. Fourth, fifth, sixth all together as well. Stan Pex was fourth, but then it gets collected. Sorry, it's Trombelli that gets collected by Luke Wilhelms. Trombelli locked up a bit into turn three. Wilhelms went for it, and Wilhelms got through to fourth place. Stan Pex followed him in fifth, and Trombelli's the one that dropped back, I'm afraid. Probably about 3 places that he's lost. So Alessandro Trombelli in the 230 kart in a bit of strife, but still in the mix just about for a podium finish. Although that second group of karts has got to be careful not to let the leaders get away if they keep fighting each other too hard. There you can see number 236, the green helmet, Denis Mavlanov, coming out of the last turn. The 256 blue colour scheme of Adrian Renedan closing through turn one. Not close enough to attack into turn two, but closer on the brakes. Gary Donnelly just half a second clear, leading the way. Denis Mavlanov from Russia in second. From France, Adrian Renedan. Now Renedan has got the bumper loose. I think Adrian Renedan's bumper looks like it's coming loose at the back, and the back right side is dangling down. You might see it on the pictures, and this is going to be an issue for him, I think, and that is a real shame if it causes him grief in this race. Fourth place, Luke Wilhelms. Fifth place, Stan Pex. Berke Besler is still fighting. He's sixth. Do not rule him out. Seventh place, Mauricio van der Laan. Maxim Stotland, another Russian, going well. Mavlanov second. His countryman Stotland is in eighth place. Then it's McCarthy, and Trombelli's down to 10th position. Through they come over the start-finish line and down towards turn number 2. The gap closes. Mavlanov is coming after Donnelly, and indeed the black flag with the orange disc is being readied. It's a technical disqualification, and I'm sad to say it's number 256, Adrian Renadan, that is going to receive that black flag. It's because his bumper has come loose, probably from some of the contact out there, and although it's not slowing him down, the officials will be worried that that might become detached and might become dangerous, and that is going to be a sad way to end what's been a really, really good performance by Adrian Renadan this weekend. I can't speak highly enough of how he's driven, but luck is not with him, I'm afraid, in this race, and he's going to be asked to leave the circuit. He's just dropped back to 4th place anyway. Luke Wilhelms has gone past him, and there he goes past, and his heart will sink because he sees the black flag. Gary Donnelly continues to lead the race. Coming after him, Denis Mavlenov, and coming after both of them, Luke Wilhelms. He's coming through, isn't he? He's up to 3rd now, and he's homing in on the top 2. Renadan is 4th, but he's going to be leaving the circuit soon with the black flag for that bumper. So Berke Besler is going to inherit 4th place. And then we'll see Stan Pex moving up to 5th, and Mauricio van der Laan up to 6th. Jack McCarthy will move up to 7th. Trombelli will move back up to 8th place. Once again, not for the first time this weekend, Stan Pex has set the fastest lap of the weekend. So not used to racing these karts, but very experienced, very quick driver in KF, coming here and doing a good job. Disaster in qualifying, but he's always been one to come up the order. Renadan staying out there. He's dropped to 5th place anyway now, but he's staying out there on the track. He will incur the wrath of the officials, though, if he disobeys the black flag. You can understand why he'd want to stay out, but he's going to get into a lot of trouble if he does stay out, and it's not going to do him any good. He's not going to get the result back, so he'll have to be careful here. And Mavlenov, he's having to be careful to hold on to 2nd place at the hairpin, because Wilhelms is with him. And look who's there, Berke Besler. He's like a cork, isn't he? You push him all the way down to the bottom of the water, and he keeps popping back up. And through he comes again. Down the inside, Berke Besler. He's gone 3rd ahead of Luke Wilhelms. So Berke Besler back into a podium place. He can get one more place. He can get himself into the grand finals here. I've been absolutely stupefied by the sheer determination of Berke Besler this weekend. He will not give up, and it's served him well. He's still in the fight, despite everything that keeps being thrown at him. So Berke Besler, can he do it? He's got 2 drivers ahead of him, the Irishman Gary Donnelly, the Russian Denis Mavlenov. Those are the 2 in for qualification for the grand finals at the moment. But here comes Berke, better on the brakes than Mavlenov, with him into turn 4. Luke Wilhelms is there in 4th place. Stan Pex is 5th, and in 6th place, Mauricio van der Laan, who is the dominant driver on Friday. There's going to be a change here. Oh, coming together, Berke Besler and Denis Mavlenov. Berke went for it down the inside. They came together, and they're both off from 2nd and 3rd. Mavlenov and Besler try and untangle their karts. And Mavlenov has hurt his ankle, I think. He's tried to get out of the kart, but he's just gone down on the floor. He's hurt his right foot or his right ankle, so he's hopping away. Besler's got going again. But that one moment, that one move, he's pulled off so many good moves this weekend, Berke Besler. But that one didn't work, I'm afraid. I'll have to take a look at it again. But anyway, the net result is they're both out. And the net result is good, very good news for Gary Donnelly, because he's got a big gap back now to the new 2nd place driver, which is that man on screen, Luke Wilhelms. His job is not yet done, though, because Stan Pex is closing up to him. And this is the battle for the final position in the grand finals. The top 2 get tickets. So the race leader up at turn 9 is about 1.4 seconds clear and going along very nicely. In fact, Gary has just set his personal best lap of the race with a 51.1. However, Luke Wilhelms was 0.2 quicker last time around. So Wilhelms goes through. Pex in 3rd. 2 Dutch drivers going for 1 place in the grand finals here. There's almost no point coming 3rd in this race. Yes, you get on the podium. Yes, you get a trophy. Yes, it's a good result. But if you got a chance of being in the grand finals, you'd have to go for it, wouldn't you? So Stan Pex, who's risen to the top all weekend after a slow start, a bad start to the weekend, what can he do? Stan, remember, started this race 8th on the grid. He's already into the top 3, and he could qualify for the grand finals. And can the 2 Dutch drivers catch Gary Donnelly? Gary's just done a 51.1, and again they caught him on that lap by 0.3. You can see the comparison on screen there. Luke Wilhelms has taken 0.4 of a second out of the leader in the last 2 laps, which is a big old chunk of time. And I think Stan Pex can see that they're both catching Donnelly, and he's working with Wilhelms. He's not fighting him, he's just following him. Got 2 laps to go then, including the one we've just started. The race leader is Gary Donnelly. He's 0.7 seconds clear now of Luke Wilhelms. Stan Pex is third. Jack McCarthy is up to 4th place. They can't shake him off either, can they? Whatever happens to Jack, however far down the order he falls, he keeps coming back. It's because he's a very quick driver, I imagine. Alessandro Trombelli is there in 5th place. And we haven't even talked about him yet, but Rinus van Kalmthout from the back of the field is up to 6th place. He was almost last on the grid. He didn't finish the pre-final. He was 28th on the grid, and Rinus is up to 6th place. What can he do in the last couple of laps? He's probably going to run out of time to catch anybody else. But I tell you what, it's been a magnificent drive all the way through the order. We are, though, about to start the last lap of the race. Gary Donnelly's got 1 more lap to hang on to this. We've seen what a good driver he is at keeping people behind him, and they're not yet with him, but Luke is catching. Again, he was 4/10 quicker on that lap, and Luke Wilhelms is going for it here. He closes up under braking, and suddenly we've got a real race on our hands here for the lead, for the win. Now, is Luke going to go for it, or he settle for a place in the grand finals? Gary Donnelly looks nervously over his shoulder as they go into the right-hander at turn 5. Luke Wilhelms is almost with him now. Hugging the inside line here is Gary Donnelly, struggling at the end of the race. Luke Wilhelms is flying. Stan Pex is with them. Hugging the inside line again. And now here goes Luke Wilhelms up the inside. 2 corners to go. There's contact. And Stan Pex gets through past both of them into the lead. Luke Wilhelms is down to 2nd. Gary Donnelly has dropped to 3rd. We've got 1 corner to go. The checkered flag is ready. And from 8th on the grid, Stan Pex wins the race. 2nd place to Luke Wilhelms. Gary Donnelly will be absolutely devastated to finish 3rd. He led almost all the way. 2 corners to go, and they caught him. And Gary was just struggling on that last lap for whatever reason. Luke and Stan were flying. Luke went for the win. Well, he gained a place and lost a place. He's still going to be in the finals, but what a shame for Gary Donnelly. He's driven so well this weekend. It's a tough sport, this. More ups, more downs than ups, I'm afraid. But at least we know, and he'll know how well he's driven for the whole weekend. But Stan Pex, well, just opportunism there. He saw what was about to happen. He sat, he waited, and he pounced, and he got through with 1 and a bit corners to go to get the win. So the CRG Spa driver, Stan Pex, wins the race. Luke Wilhelms for TKP is 2nd. And it's 2 Dutch drivers that will qualify for the grand finals to represent their country in a couple of weeks' time in the Rotax grand finals. Gary Donnelly 3rd, but still a fine effort from him. Alessandro Trombelli came back brilliantly to 4th. He was 10th with about half the race to go. Jack McCarthy, I think he passed on the last lap, so Jack was 5th, but still a very good start to his senior career. Rinus van Kalmthout from the back of the field up to 6th place. Maxim Stotland 7th. Mauricio van der Laan in 8th. And again, from the back of the field, from dead last, 33rd on the grid, well done, Jess Batman, who comes through to finish in 9th place. 10th position to Shane Daly. And the fastest lap going to Luke Wilhelms.